The other point of outrage in Washington today was the arraignment of Trump's former FBI chief turned enemy, James Comey. At Trump's command, Comey has been indicted on charges related to authorizing a leak of classified information, even though investigators found insufficient evidence that he leaked classified information. And the prosecution's lead witness says he never leaked classified information. Other than that, though, lock him up.
Trying to tell the public we're in a massive misinformation campaign. The president himself tweeting out AI videos of fake news reports on healthcare. This is really dangerous, and it's really hard. And I cannot express to you the concern and the absolute bafflement and fear of our European allies asking me, is this stuff really going?
The funny thing about power is that it talks a lot when it has nothing left to say. Trump calls that leadership. Kimmel calls it acting with a screen that doesn't even know where to put a period. Walz looks at everything like a teacher watching a student hand in a blank paper and call it amazing. Somewhere between real work and just pretending, America ended up with a president who thought being in charge was like being on a TV show, and every new problem was just another dramatic episode.
Trump wants that Nobel Prize so bad. I've seen a lot of Oscar and Emmy campaigns, but no one has ever vied for an award more vigorously than our Dalai Lama.
Obama got a Nobel Peace Prize. He didn't do anything. They gave it to Obama for doing absolutely nothing. He got the Nobel Prize for doing nothing. They should give me the Nobel Prize. Everyone says that I should get it.
And I am going to challenge him. I mean, my God, we've got the White House threatening investigations in jail time because an escalator stopped. Walk up the damn stairs. Stuff happens. This is life. Do not normalize this.
So Kimmel starts with Trump's favorite way to begin every story, by calling himself the best. He says the economy is great, the borders are safe, and the whole world is jealous. And if the facts don't match what he says, well, that's a facts problem, not his problem. Walz shakes his head. He's seen confident people before, just not the kind who can ignore proof like it doesn't exist. Trump says he built big empires, but his biggest project might actually be the story that keeps his own image standing tall.
The president using the Department of Justice to prosecute people he doesn't like is very concerning, especially if, personally speaking, you are one of the people he doesn't like. No one makes enemies like Donald Trump. He even has a problem with the QAnon shaman now. Remember the guy in the horns who stormed the Capitol? Well, he's doing great, first of all, but he's suing his beloved president.
Every week, there's a new emergency. And every time, Trump fixes it the same way, with a press meeting and a promise that nobody else could do it better. Kimmel jokes that maybe the real construction project in America is fixing the holes in Trump's story. Trump says he'll rebuild roads, but he spends more time rebuilding his version of events. Walz can't tell if it's bravery or just blind hope. It's like watching a man call his mistakes efficiency and pretend that chaos is just another word for modern.
The Nobel Prize was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. I got the Nobel Peace Prize nomination. I got nominated for the Nobel Prize. Where's my Nobel Peace Prize they don't talk about? A Peace Prize Nobel nomination, and they didn't cover it. And I don't care about it. I'm not looking for it. I'm not politicking for it. I'm just saying that there's a lot of unfairness in this world.
Yeah, well, you know what? No one has suffered more unfairness.
Trump is really good at taking credit. He turned it into his personal brand. The sun rises, he says, that's my leadership. The stock market changes, that's my genius. A law passes that he didn't even help with, that's my influence. If a hurricane changes direction, he calls it smart weather management. Walz laughs quietly, the way you do when words don't help anymore. Kimmel sums it up. This is what happens when a businessman learns that democracy doesn't give refunds.
I do. I think it goes back to this question, Tom, that it appears like they're trying to do that. Disruption is there. The willingness of the Speaker of the House to blame. I have seen Fox News even correct this issue, that trying to tell the public we're in a massive misinformation campaign. The president himself tweeting out AI videos of fake news reports.
Trump shakes hands like he's signing a deal. Kimmel says talking with world leaders under Trump feels like watching a dating show, full of drama, breakups, and fake makeups. Everyone acts like they're in control. Walz says it's like coaching kids in a game when one of them keeps saying the scoreboard is fake because he doesn't like losing.
And why are you suing Donald Trump?
Because he's out of his deadly mind. The guy, he's not mentally fit to be president.
But he pardoned you. He gave you a full pardon.
Ipso facto. Does that sound like a guy making rational decisions? I mean, I'm wearing horns and whacking it at the library. Okay.
But under all the jokes, the real government still has to keep working. Workers try to turn Trump's tweets into real rules. His team studies his face to guess what he means. Kimmel imagines their morning meetings. Some clapping, some confusion, and slides trying to explain why yesterday's rule doesn't count anymore. Walz wonders how a country can survive by making things up as it goes. What makes it strange is not the lies, but that Trump truly believes them. He thinks saying something over and over makes it real. Kimmel calls it wishful lawmaking. Walz calls it leading by repeating. America just calls it Tuesday. The rallies never stopped, they just moved around. Every event sounds the same. Big claim, applause, complaint, more applause. Kimmel says it's not really about politics anymore. It's about keeping people excited. Walz says that when politics becomes a crowd game, facts stop mattering. Trump's rule seems to be loyalty before logic, cheering before truth. Every president leaves a legacy. Trump seems to want to leave a catchphrase, make it great again. But no one knows what version of again he means. Kimmel jokes that if missing the past was a policy, we'd be rich.
He's had it hard, guys. He's had it really hard. He claims he's not politicking for the Peace Prize, which must be why the White House posted this very subtle message calling him the Peace President. Peace President is sending a platoon to invade a yoga studio in Portland right now. This is all you need to know about how we're being perceived around the world. Norway braces for Trump's reaction if he does not win the Nobel.
Walz laughs that Trump keeps talking about greatness while describing a country that only went bad when he turned on the TV. His patriotism feels like a sales pitch, part pride, part merchandise. Then comes his favorite topic, the economy. When the numbers go up, he celebrates. When they go down, he blames others. Kimmel says it's like watching someone grade their own homework in crayons. Walz adds that true strength means admitting when things are wrong, but Trump never does. He uses facts like seasoning, adds a few when they help, ignores them when they don't. Even the weather becomes a joke. Climate change is fake until his golf course floods. Then it's a surprise no one could have guessed. Kimmel wonders how a man who builds towers can still be shocked by rising water. Walz calls it selective vision, only seeing a problem when it touches him. Trump's energy plan runs on nostalgia and gas. His health plan runs on bragging. When experts disagree, he says they're wrong. When numbers drop, he says it's his win.
He negotiated the damn trade deal with them. Trade is so bad with Canada. He was the guy who signed the deal. It defies logic. But look, I think this is how he ran business. He stiffed contractors. He stiffed workers. He doesn't pay his bills. He declares bankruptcy. The one thing is, his claim that he's business president, he is the worst possible business executive that I have ever witnessed.
Kimmel says it's the first time science had to take a loyalty test. Walz sighs, it's like watching a doctor argue with a thermometer. The pandemic didn't break the system. It showed how weak it already was. Still, Trump kept tweeting, each post like a little "I'm right" message. Kimmel calls it governing by phone autocorrect. Walz says it's like trying to run a country using only bumper stickers. Trump can't stay quiet. Silence feels like losing. Most people would run out of dramatic words after a week, but Trump never does. Every failure becomes a win. Every insult becomes proof of greatness. He could trip over his own ego and call it a power move. Walz says it's like watching a magician cut himself in half, then complain about bad ratings. Scandals don't even surprise anyone anymore. Kimmel says maybe the only thing both parties agree on is being tired of being shocked. Walz adds, when everything's chaos, people stop caring. And that's the plan. If everything's dramatic, nothing's real.
The Senate Judiciary Committee was at work today hearing testimony from Trump's Attorney General, Pam Bondi. Bondi refused to deny that border czar Tom Homan was seen accepting $50,000 in cash in a paper bag at a Cava restaurant. He hasn't even denied this. How crazy is it? $50,000 in a bag. The FBI got it on tape. He's still running the border. He's still in charge of rounding up illegals. Hey, Tom, if you're looking for illegals, we found one living in your house.
Trump's meetings feel like scenes from a funny TV show. Everyone agrees, claps, and stays quiet. Loyalty is the money there, and everyone's broke. Kimmel says it's like employees cheering for a chef while the kitchen's on fire. Walz adds that real leaders don't beg for praise. They earn it. But in this White House, fame is the only thing that matters. Other countries used to call him unpredictable. Now they just say, that's America. Walz says being steady used to mean strength, but now it's boring. The world just keeps waiting for the noise to stop, but it never does. Behind the jokes, people's lives are still affected. Kimmel knows the humor works only because the pain is real. Walz knows jokes can't fix problems, they just show them clearly. Together, they pull off the mask, not to mock, but to remind everyone what normal once felt like.
The government of Norway is scared he might punish them, that he might declare them an enemy for not giving him the Nobel Peace Prize. Give me that Peace Prize or I'll stick it up your Aurora Borealis. No president has ever been more committed to peace, and he's arresting all the rabble-rousers to prove it.
We have arrested dozens of individuals that are Antifa members or affiliated with them, and I want to thank our Attorney General for prosecuting them and making sure they never see the light of day again.
That's just the Secretary of Homeland Security suggesting we lock up American protesters for life.
Somewhere in all this noise, the myth of I did it all myself keeps playing. The idea that being loud means being right. Kimmel calls it confidence without content. Walz calls it emotional money. People invest their belief in a person, not ideas. But numbers don't lie forever. Sooner or later, even pride crashes. The campaign never ends. Every speech sells something. When lies become normal, truth sounds strange. But the show keeps going because chaos keeps people watching. Confusion sells. Kimmel says it's like the final stage of reality TV, when being famous becomes more important than being responsible. Walz sighs, democracy wasn't made to be binge-watched. The most surprising thing? Trump really believes his own story. Every mistake is a plan. Every failure is genius. Kimmel says it's like an actor who forgot he's acting.
Comey faces up to 5 years in prison. Today he pleaded not guilty, and the prosecutor in the case is a Trump favorite, former Miss Colorado third runner-up Lindsay Halligan, who has no experience in prosecution at all. There she is. She was an insurance lawyer, but she's very good looking. Picks his lawyers like he's casting a reboot of Suits. They brought Lindsay in at the last minute because first prosecutor, who himself had been appointed by Trump to the U.S. Attorney's Office 4 months ago, refused to take the case because of a lack of evidence, and also because if you prosecute someone for vindictive reasons, you could lose your license to practice. And in Lindsay Halligan's case, you could even lose your beauty.
Walz says that's what happens when acting becomes life. Trump isn't lying. He's living inside the story. He really thinks being on camera is being powerful. Every picture, every headline feels like destiny to him. The applause may fade, but in his mind, it never ends. Kimmel calls it a circle of self-confidence. They don't attack him with anger. They beat him with truth. Kimmel shows the joke. Walz explains why it matters. Together, they prove the laughter stopped being funny when it became normal. Their humor hurts not because it's cruel, but because it's real. It's the kind of truth that laughs first, then cries. The final feeling isn't anger, it's exhaustion.
I got to tell you, pointing out just an observation of mine that I made. I just have to say it. You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy, and yes, just weird as hell. That's what you see. That's what you see.
Kimmel says history will remember this time not for what Trump built, but for how loudly he said, "I can't be broken," while everything fell apart. Walz imagines future students reading about this like a case study in overconfidence. Kids will learn about tweets the way others learn about old telegrams. Tiny notes from a time when power mixed up fame with respect. And when the laughter fades, one picture stays. A man who thinks popularity equals leadership, surrounded by mirrors showing only himself. Kimmel doesn't need a punchline. Walz doesn't need to explain. The picture says it all. The slogans, the show, the endless pretending even when no one's watching. Maybe that's the final joke. The man who turned politics into TV can't see the show's already over. The lights are off, the camera's gone, the crowd left. But he's still talking to himself, selling another next season. The promises are reruns, the words are echoes. But he keeps performing, still sure the ratings are great. Kimmel and Walz just watch, tired and amazed. As the curtain stays up, the shocking part isn't that he keeps acting. It's that deep down, he truly believes the show is still going.